Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Okay guys, we've got a short video to watch on the Grim Forest, and then I've got all of the information about the two bosses that are going to be coming in this new game mode. So let's check out this little vid.
More have come. More have come. The tree has called to them. There's always more. Year after year, age after age, drawn to this grim forest like silly little flies to the flames. They all want something from this place. Some seek glory. That none have found it yet, but I've found plenty worth taking from their corpses. Then there are the thieves, disgusting, filthy thieves, with their grubby little fingers stealing.
It's really different from their normal like video stuff. It's way more like cartoony, still images rather than like the CG stuff.
Oh, that doesn't belong to them. Fight the beast, dig up the treasure, stash all the gold, the jewels, and the gems that you can find. But you'll soon learn, it's all mine. I earned it, fair and square. No one knows this land like I do, and a thief who could steal it from... Oh! Now you've done it. It's coming. The forest has marked you, little flies, and you can't escape.
Okay, I mean, as I say, like that's not the normal like raid style, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's check out what's going on then. So we've got the kits and visuals of loads. It feels like the two mini bosses watching that clip through. You've got the sort of big bad that you saw at the end there. We've had no information about yet, as far as I've seen anyway. So let me share with you just a couple of visuals here. We've got the Mimic, which is basically, I'd say like a mini boss. Sometimes you hit these treasure chests and you get stuff. Sometimes you fight this dude by the looks of it. Kind of like a frog with a chest on his back. That's the vibe I'm getting here now with like the legs and stuff. Looks pretty cool though. Let's check out the Mimic's skills. So as I say, this is going to be one of like the mini bosses that you can face. Looks like though to me, yeah, there's something bigger and badder than the stuff I'm going to show you today, but still a lot of like new mechanics. There's a lot of stuff going on here that we're going to have to try and get our heads around. We've got Plunder Pounce as this like basic skill. Attacks all enemies, deals additional pure damage equal to 5% of each target's max HP for each buff on them. So if you bring a lot of buffs, he's going to be doing a lot of pure damage to you. So ignoring defense basically. Has a 50% chance of placing a decreased attack. We've got his A2. Attacks an enemy, places a stun for 1 turn. Will attack all remaining enemies if the stun wasn't placed. So you've got like a block debuffs on there. It's going to attack all enemies. Decreases the turn meter of all enemies without stun by 30%. So it looks like this is something that you would be able to resist. We've then got Feeding Time, the A3. It's on a 5 turn. Summons a mini mimic to the battle who ingests the enemy with the highest crit damage. So I guess a bit like the Phantom's Grove, you've got to have someone in there who's going to be a target to be eaten by a mimic in a similar way that Hydra eats your champs, right? So the mini mimic's HP is equal to 20% of the mimic's HP. So the mini mimic is like an ad that spawns basically, eats someone, and then you will have to try and kill the mini mimic to release your champ. So its HP, its defense is equal to 70% of the mimics, and it's got the same resistance. So it's actually, its HP is 20%, the defense is 70%. So nowhere near as much health, but still, pretty hard to kill, I would think. At the start of the mimic's turn, the mini mimic, it's hard to say those words fast. Deals damage equal to 25% of the target's current HP. So basically, after 4 turns, the mini mimic is going to be dead, but also your champ is going to be dead. The target champions return to battle, but as I say, like if he's done all the way through that, 4 times 25 is 100, he's dead. Only one champion can be transferred into the mini mimic at a time. Places decreased speed on all other enemies. So he's going to be putting decreased speed on your team. And obviously, it's a bit of a race to try and free your champ from the mini mimic. Or you just straight up set someone up to die and you revive them when they come back. That's probably going to be one of the strats. Literally have like a fodder person who's just ready to be eaten up. What else we got here? Passive. For every 3 buffs the enemy team receives, decreases the cooldown of feeding time. So if you are doing a lot of buffs, then you're going to be getting eaten way more quickly. At the start of the mimic's turn, if there is a mini mimic present in the battle, heals the mimic by 25% of its HP. So you are needing to kill the ad. Immune to a whole bunch of stuff like normal. All turn meter reduction effects are decreased by 50%. That's normal as well. Decrease the damage inflicted by the boss for each awakening level on your champs. So this is going to be one of those ones where the more, I guess, the squads you need to bring into this area need to be awakened champs to survive, basically. Damage from steals at enemy max HP can't exceed 5%. And damage from burns cannot exceed 1%. Pretty tough, honestly. The second one we see here is, what's this? Fateless, who's like this, the sort of the goblin here with the chest on his back. So he's going to be one of the sort of dudes that gives you a bunch of rewards, I guess. Pretty cool. Turns himself gold. Yeah. So, but it looks like, so originally when I was looking through this pack earlier, I thought he was the main boss, but just watching that clip there, it looks like there's something else that we don't know about yet. So what's he got going on? What's it? Fateless, the Trovemaster. He's got attacks all enemies, 50% chance of stealing 1 random buff from each enemy. We then got for the A2, can't catch me on a 3-turn. Attacks all enemies, places decreased speed and decreased attack. Steals 30% of each target's turn meter. Cannot be resisted by targets under buffs. We've got 2 bosses here where really putting buffs out there is going to like hurt you a lot. The damage inflicted by this skill is increased by 10% for each gold-plated layer. So we saw him make himself gold a second ago. Gold-plated here is a new buff they're adding in. So basically what happens is he applies gold-plated to himself. When he receives damage whilst under gold-plated, that will be the first thing that's taking the damage rather than his health pool. Each layer of gold-plated can block a certain amount of damage and is destroyed after receiving that much damage. When a gold-plated layer is destroyed, Fateless will receive damage equal to the value of that gold-plated layer. So it looks like you need to defeat the layers to be able to do damage to him. All other enemies will also receive a portion of that damage. So if you've got like a whole bunch of mobs, they're going to receive damage when you take the gold-plated layers out as well. Any surplus damage will hit his HP. So you've got the A3. He places 5 layers of this gold-plated on himself. Each layer is 10% of his HP. Whenever a layer is destroyed, it does the damage like we just saw. Also deals damage to other enemies to 5% of that layer. Fills his turn meter by 10% each time a layer is destroyed. Whilst under gold-plated, he cannot evade. Okay, so this guy's like an evasion type champ. He's got a passive here, 10% chance of evading an enemy skill and all of its effects if he doesn't have gold-plated on. Increases his speed by 5 and chance to evade by 2% each turn he is under gold-plated, up to plus 200 speed and 50% chance to evade. So he's stacking this up, but it's not going to work until gold-plated goes away. It's the way I'm reading that. Immune to a bunch of stuff. He's also got this thing around awakening. So the more The more awakened your champions are, the easier this fight will be. Damage from skills at stealth and max HP is the same as well. Immune to decreased speed and turn meter completely. And same with the HP burn. So two bosses or two mini bosses, whatever we want to call it, where buffs are going to be challenging. And honestly, staying alive is going to be challenging because buffs are not great in these environments. Also, awakening is extremely important from what we're seeing. Very similar to like Cintranos or Phantom's Grove, those sort of areas where if you haven't got high awakened champions, it's much harder to beat the bosses. There you go. That's all I've got so far. Let me know what you're thinking, and I will see you real soon.